I always tried.
And even that may not be 100% certain. Okay?
I always tried.
But you haven't done that.
No, but I don't want
Various
to try.
things in life, we go by.
You're so emotional, like
we know gravity exists, but we haven't seen it. I mean, we only infer it from the actions that we think it's doing it. So it's not a matter of like the evidence is tangible and seen. There's various kinds of things. And we use that in maths, we use that in philosophy, we use that in logic. I'm sure you're open to these kind of avenues where, yes, evidence can come from these types, and if that's convincing, then it's reasonable to accept.
Yes,
of course, sure. Yeah. So, on this point, I want to ask you a very simple question. This is something simple, yet people struggle to discuss this. The concept of something and nothing. If I were to define nothing as the absence of anything, nothing is the absence of anything, something united on something, be a matter.
What's my son's name?
Maybe if you go down, breaking down to gluons and hadrons and electrons. So even to the quantum particles, or talk about fluctuations, or to go out, we're talking about
say something. I don't
potential energy fields, whatever, right? That's something. If I were to define nothing as the absence of all of that, at least you understand what my something is. It's basically the absence of anything. No thing. If nothing is this, which means it has no thing of itself, can nothing originate something?
That's of course the question, like originating to the creation of the universe.
You know why I'm misleading question.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, can nothing originate anything?
Yes, it can. And
we just defined it.
Yeah, and one of the things is nothing can bear, like create something if the resulting thing is still nothing. If you have, if
nothing can create nothing.
How can nothing do anything when it doesn't even have energy or doesn't have any existence of any kind?
The point is, if I have £0, I don't have anything, right? But I can have £5 and I can owe someone £5. Together, I still don't have something, but I do have.
No, you have £5.
No, I have £5, but I also have £5 in debt. Yeah, but I get them at the same time.
But if you have zero, if you have nothing,
no money whatsoever.
No money.
Okay, look, these are things like.
You can always.
Okay, let me give you an example. Much help on this one. Suppose now I want to give you £10 from my wallet, and I say I have no money, and I have no friends, I have no bank, I have nowhere to get money from. Can I give you £10?
No.
Why not?
Because it's not at the same time. My argument is, if you look at this would be the £5 debt, and this would be the £5. If they both converge at the same time, it's fair, right? Because nothing happens. But if like the same that they converge, they can also disperse. It's the same with energy. We have matter and we have antimatter.
And what you're saying is about balance. If you have something and something else outweighs it, you come back to a neutral position. What Mansour is saying is, you don't have anything. You start in absence.
So you're actually arguing on something that I'm not even using. You're basically.
I know your premise. And if you have an atom, and if you have an atom of antimatter and they converge.
What is antimatter? Does it exist?
Yes, it exists.
Then it's not nothing. It's something. So my example.
Yes, it is.
So my example is nothing.
Yes, if you have an atom of matter, and if you have one atom of antimatter, and they touch each other, they disperse. They don't exist anymore. They don't leave anything. They are nothing.
They become nothing,
But
non-existent.
they still existed at a time before they
Just one
collided.
moment.
Yes.
Did they become non-existent?
They don't leave. They are your definition of nothing. They leave no trace. They don't
When I
leave
say
anything.
if something exists,
Yes.
that's something.
Yes.
So antimatter, matter, in their convergence, is it an existent entity?
If they convert, no. Nothing is left. They cancel each other out completely.
So it's
They're
non-existent.
completely gone. They're non-existent then.
Right, non-existent.
Yes.
But they were existent before.
Yes.
Good. So I'm talking about if you start with non-existence,
Yes.
and you get existence.
Yes.
How? How?
You can get these balanced existences.
No. The moment you say balance, you have to start with something that exists. But my question to you is, you have to begin with non-existence.
Yes,
there is no existence whatsoever. How can you get existence from non-existence?
Because you get you get matter and antimatter at the same time. You don't
Where do you get the matter from?
Antimatter.
No, where do you get the matter from?
We don't know the physics behind it.
Then you're assuming matter exists, antimatter exists, and then you get. But I'm saying, in my scenario of question, nothing exists, because that's what nothing is.
Yes.
So
I
matter is not in the equation, because there is no existence of matter.
Yes, but like my opinion is 0 equals 0.
I'm not talking about zero. That's the problem. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying people often find difficulty in discussing the concept of nothing and something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, then I can go with nothing. Nothing equals nothing.
Non-existence.
Right? Or non-existence equals non-existence.
Can non-existence originate existence, like our universe?
Yes, it can.
Okay, how?
As I told you, if matter and antimatter emerge at the
Say
same
matter.
time.
Break it down. Matter.
Yes.
Where does the matter emerge from? Matter is something.
Yes.
It's the same question again. You see what you're doing? You're just pulling matter out. But where does the matter? You already. It's like saying, who created this? And I'm saying the answer is that. Who created that? Is the second question. It's going to go infinite regress.
Yes, I know what you mean.
But I'm asking simply,
Yes.
if you have non-existence, you cannot then postulate, oh, I start with matter and non-matter at the same time. No, you can't start with matter because matter is existence.
I'm not starting with matter. It's not like a linear thing. It's not like there's matter and then there's it.
Did matter exist in your answer?
What do you mean? Yes.
But then it's not nothing. It's not non-existence.
The start of it is physics we do not understand. We do not
I'm
understand.
not talking about physics of this universe.
Yes, but I am.
We are discussing a concept which is understood logically, rationally, philosophically.
Yes.
When you bring the scientific understanding of nothing, like Professor Lawrence Krauss, then we are doing like a deception to and a disservice. All right. He defines his nothing as a something. So, if non-existence existed at some point, which is like non-existence.
Yes.
Excuse my pun and contradiction. No problem. Right. You cannot get existence from it.
But non-existence can't ever exist.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. That's a separate question. That's precisely my point.
So the problem is
That means there has always been existence.
yes.
Right. This universe, is it always in existence? Has it always been in existence?
Very likely, yeah.
Then where 13.8 billion comes in, years come from?
Because of different ages.
So 13.8 billion years is not really the true existence of our universe. It's just an arbitrary number that we've given because of our redshift.
No, the current theory supports a Big Bang as well as a Big Crunch, which would mean that you have all the matter in the universe. And the Big Bang, that was the arbitrary number you were talking about. And then they expand and form galaxies.
So
and
go back to
stars.
zero. Go back to zero.
Okay.
Backwards, not forwards.
Backwards,
Go
okay.
backwards. So do we go back to time zero?
Yeah, in that times you'll see why I have to go that way. I know what you mean. I get to your point. So we start at zero, right? And the universe expands and creates itself.
I have a problem with zero.
Yes, I will come to that. I will come to that. Believe me.
And move on to the prelude.
So we start at zero. The universe expands, and you have that initial force of like expansion, and then galaxies form, and they have gravitational pull. And at some point, the gravitational pull equals the initial energy, and at some point, it gets larger. And then the galaxies, the gravitational pulls on each other are stronger than the initial energy. They begin falling into each other. That means it's rapidly increasing in speed, eventually crashing down in a singularity, meaning a singular point that, you know what a singularity is, right? It's just insanely concentrated in a single, it's a one-dimensional point essentially. It doesn't have length or it's unimaginable.
Existent.
And out of that point creates another, that point of mass is so high in energy, it creates another Big Bang. So the current theory is that that there's a Big Bang, the mass disperses, collects itself, and flies away at rapid speeds until the gravitational pull is too high, it crushes in on itself, and expands back
So
to
let's go back to our initial point of zero. Is the universe existent at that time?
Well, I do think that time is a construct we cannot really apply to the universe itself. Because, of course, for us humans, we have limited time here. Time makes a lot of sense.
What is time?
Well,
because that's where the scientists are really playing the tricks. What is time?
Well, for us as humans, time is like, you know, we look at the sun. Yeah.
A concept that everyone understands, a layperson to a scientist. What is time?
Well, time is essentially for us just measuring atoms that move and
measuring movement. It's a measurement of change.
Yeah.
Right. So at the time zero, was there any change, any movement?
That is the point. We cannot apply time to that because
we cannot apply.
Time is relative to mass, and that's a theory of relativity. Mass,
whatever exists,
matter is equal to energy, and energy is equal to time. So we can't go back to amount like in that singularity. Although the laws of physics we have, they stop existing. They cannot function anymore. There is no time. Time and matter began existing at the same time.
So if time is a measure of change,
yeah.
In the singularity, was there any change?
In the singularity, it doesn't. There is no laws. That's the thing.
Asking about laws. Was there, because we've defined what time is. It's a measurement of change.
Yes.
So was there in the singularity a change?
No. In the singularity, we don't have mass. We don't have time. We don't have energy. We don't have nothing.
So whatever we had is existent.
What do you mean by
that? So what was it non-existence or was it existent?
Well, a singularity is a physical concept. It's not something that...
No, the universe, go backwards, condense in time.
Yeah.
Just what you said. Was it something or nothing?
In that point, where it's a singularity, we do not know. We can't know, because the thing is, everything we know is derived from particles, from matter.
Okay.
You know?
I'll tell you what science won't tell you. Right? It's a philosophical problem here.
Yeah.
So in the singularity, if it was non-existence,
yeah,
you won't be able to get existence from it.
Yeah.
Because to get into existence from non-existence means a change. It means there's going to be a time.
Yeah, but
so that doesn't work.
Yeah, in the point of singularity, we cannot argue about anything. To understand the universe, we have to look at mass and particles, because
you're actually going forward. Let's go backward. This is the time. This is the point where it's going to solve this conundrum. At this initial point of zero, even though it's like time did exist, in my opinion, time has always been in existence.
No,
it's not a time before.
That's the thing. Time and matter are closely linked.
That's what scientists are telling you, right?
No,
here's the problem.
That's how physics work.
This is the problem. If the universe was non-existent,
yes,
you won't get our universe.
Yes.
Right. If we have our universe, it proves that there was existence before that.
Yes.
That means there was time before that. So there has to be time before time zero.
There is no time zero.
I just told you. Tell me a reason why this universe can exist from nothingness, non-existence, and there was no time.
The thing is, we cannot possibly look further back than how far can we look back?
That's why I'm saying it's not a scientific observation anymore.
It is.
It's a philosophical, rational query. This question has now become rational, metaphysical.
Yes.
So according to metaphysical inquiry, if you have this universe,
yes,
it couldn't be a result from a point, not using time, a point where there was absolute nothingness, non-existence.
Yes. No one.
That means this universe has a prior existence,
yes,
or something else,
yes,
other than the universe brought the universe into existence.
Yes.
So either the universe has always been in some form or other.
Yes.
That means 13.8 billion years. Maybe it's just a transformation from that point.
No, those are, you know, if we have this thing, then the 13 years is just the one since the last expansion. Yeah.
So that means this universe, there was something before that universe.
Yeah.
Before. I'm using the word before. Have to use this before.
Yeah. Another universe that collapsed in itself
so
and
time
created
existed.
ours. Yeah.
Then time existed.
Yeah, but
and one scientist time created with the Big Bang, It doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah, the problem is in the singularity we don't have physical laws. The thing, because
how can you not have time if there was another universe? If you think about multiverses or crunch, if you have an expansion crunch,
Yes.
imagine this is within this series of expansion crunch in one point, right? But there was a expansion beforehand which crunched to give this big bang.
Yes.
That means there was before.
Yeah.
There was a change. So if there was before, now please tell me.
Yeah.
If there was before and there was change.
Yeah.
If that is not time, then what is it?
it's not time. Well, it is time, but not the time we know. Our time is linear. It's always the same. It's time.
How is it not time?
It is time, but the problem
Then
is...
it is time. So that means when the scientists tell us time started with t equals 0 and there was no before, there's a lot of...
No, because there's a problem with it. You see, time and matter are closely linked. The heavier an object is, the faster time passes. If you put, like, applying the theory of relativity, you can have two twins, exactly the same age, and you send, we have you two guys, and we send you to the corner of our current existing universe, which technically works if we send you at the speed of light. Because at the speed of light, the expansion of the universe, like if you move at the speed of light, the laws of relativity, they cause the distance for you to become shorter. That's the relativity of it. And on Earth we don't realize it because all the speeds are virtually the same. But at the speed of light, the distance you still have before you becomes shorter and shorter. And technically, you can reach the end of the universe. So if we send him there and then send him back, he will only be 2 or 3 years older at most, while he will have aged 40 years or 50 years, or might even be dead, or it's the next century. We don't know. But that's the relativity part of it. And like approaching the singularity, the problem is that time is so insanely condensed, we cannot even begin to imagine it. It's if we take the point of origin and then take the development and then take blocks of time, that they will always get smaller. It's like when you have a line and then you do like cut it in half and take the half and cut it in half and continue with that. You will get an infinitely like small condensed amount of lines, right? And that will be
the problem with all of this is it doesn't prove that time is non-existent. It proves that it's relative.
Yes.
It can be shorter, longer, and so on.
Yes.
But it doesn't prove in any way that it's non-existence.
Which science has never done. Because you can't.
Science has limitations. That's why I'm saying this is beyond the scope of science. But we understand, we have to understand that time must have existed. Otherwise there will be no change. Our universe won't come from a big crunch after a big expansion. So time did exist.
Well, time and matter coexisted at all times. Well, the trio of mass, energy, and time has to coexist.
So now, if we were to talk about if ultimately our universe could not be result from absolute nothingness, and it is a result of something that is eternally always, what would be the property of this something?
That is where we are limited with our human brain.
We can still understand some of these properties because that something has to be existent, self-existent, because there's nothing else to make into existence.
Yeah, but what like if you continue that chain of arguments, there must also be something that had let that into existence, had let that into existence.
No. Let me explain now. If you have a series of causes for our universe, because that's what you're saying, there's infinite series of causes. It is. But I'm saying this is impossible. Why? Because if there was infinite series, our universe would not come to a result. This is the problem of infinite regress. To give you an example, you see this coffee or tea? Coffee. Could have been milk or chocolate. It's just an educated guess. Now, if this is to go to your hand and there are infinite number of people in front of you, you have infinite time, no problem. I'm being very generous. Would this cup ever go to you in your own hand? infinite number of people in front of you.
Speaking mathematically or speaking realistically?
Both.
Realistically, no, of course not. Mathematically, yes.
No.
Yes. How? Because mathematically that works. You have different infinities, different like sizes of infinity. They are defined by the Greek symbol of aleph null. Aleph null meaning the distance between letters. Our normal infinity we know is aleph null 1. It's a series of minus infinity plus 1 with converging at 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. An infinity that is twice as large is the infinity with the aleph null of a half, which would start at minus infinity, then plus a half, converge at 0, be a half, 1, 1 and a half, 2. And of course, successively, the biggest infinity would be infinity with the aleph null of infinity, and that infinity had the aleph null. You get what I mean? Like it's an infinite series of infinities with the aleph null of infinity, which would be the biggest infinity we have. And you can calculate with infinity, that works.
So with this...
Sorry, what's at the end of the infinity again?
Nothing, it goes to infinity.
Right, so how do you reach the end?
You never do. You never do.
So the point being, if between me and you are an infinite number of people, and the cup keeps getting passed, then you admit, realistically and mathematically, you'll never get to the end.
No, realistically not, but mathematically, yes.
Well, then I just asked you, mathematically, what is at the end of the infinity?
That is the cool thing about infinity.
Sorry?
Infinity is a number you can calculate.
But okay, forget about mathematical infinity. I'm saying there's always someone in front of you.
Yeah.
Would it ever go to you? Mathematically.
The problem with that would be, like, it's not realistically possible. You wouldn't
use mathematics now. Use mathematics, but without the concept of infinity, because you seem to be a very problematic concept of infinity.
Exactly.
So the concept I'm applying is here causes flow one to the other. Like this universe was caused by something, who was in turn caused by something. If we have this causation going with no end, I am postulating that our universe would not be in existence. Never. Because there will be always someone or something that will have to be caused before our universe is brought into existence. So this is a simple analogy like the universe. The cup is our universe. That cup needs to go to your hand, meaning created or brought or originated. And there are infinite series of people are there. There's always someone in front.
Yes, I understand. At point t0, it's in his hand. Point t1, it's in the next person's hand. Point t infinity, it's in my hand.
No, because infinity is the destination. You never get there.
Yes. You can get there mathematically.
Mathematically, infinity is not the end.
Continues. That's the problem.
Infinity is a mathematical number.
So what is at the end? What is the number I arrive to?
Infinity. Infinity is the number.
I'm saying the person...
Infinity is a concept.
Yes, and you can calculate.
The person that you think is infinity, there's someone else before him.
Yes.
And then you think the other person is, the last person is no, there's someone else before him.
Yes, that's practically speaking, of course.
No, I'm using mathematical. Someone else, you can use numbers. +1, +1 and +1, and it doesn't end.
It's really simple actually. If you have infinity, if you do infinity +1, it's a larger infinity that increases the aleph null number by a small amount.
No one is denying that. No one is.
If you keep on adding +1, +1 and +1, and it doesn't end, would it ever come to your hand using +1s?
If you always use +1s, you're always creating bigger infinities.
Would it ever come to your hand mathematically?
It wouldn't come, like if we only had 3 people and each time we passed the cup and also added a person, it would also not reach me.
I'm saying there are +1 all the time, with never ending. Using mathematics of +1s, you get infinity, because you seem to like infinity towards n at the end. If I'm the n number, then I've got it. No, because the n means it keeps on going. N doesn't mean it's the end.
Do you realize that infinity doesn't have a start and it doesn't have an end?
Yes, I do.
And it doesn't end. So no start and no end.
That's why I was asking mathematically or realistically.
Even mathematically, infinity does not have a start and it does not have...
Yeah, it doesn't, but it's a concept.
So you agree with me there? Infinity cannot have a start and it cannot have an end.
Yes, but
therefore,
you can calculate.
talking about infinities being +1 and +2 is logically doesn't make any sense. Because it will never end.
Well, it does, because that's the concept with the bigger infinities.
Right.
If you take infinity,
Plus 1 equals infinity. No.
Infinity plus
So what
1.
does it equal?
Infinity plus 1 equals infinity plus 1.
Which is? And what is infinity?
Infinity is the infinite series of numbers with aleph and all of 1.
Exactly, which is forever going. You're acting like there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
infinity, and then plus 1, plus 2.
No.
That's the argument you're putting across.
No. The thing,
What are you saying?
you can only like calculate the number of infinities by looking at a certain, like, looking at how much distance between numbers is inside there.
A series of infinite numbers which are additions with 1. 1 plus 1. So it goes like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. That's how it comes.
Yeah.
Now, this series, you can't have at the end infinity plus 1. Because the whole series is supposed to be ongoing.
Yeah.
So how can you even add plus 1 to it? It never ends.
It's a mathematical concept. You can calculate.
But you cannot say the infinity stop somewhere and then you add another one.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
But you can still add it.
So we agreed, and we've agreed that.
How can you add to something when this hasn't even finished?
But he's admitted it. But if between me and him there are infinite number of people, the cup will never reach him. That's what we're talking about, right? This cup reaching you. And if between me and you there are infinite number of people, will the cup reach you? Just answer that.
Well, no.
Right. Okay. So let's stick with that. Let's stick with that concept. Let's not.
And now come back
confuse.
to the universe.
Let's
If
come
our
back to the
universe
universe.
had
Yes.
causes like this, and would we ever come to existence if there was like this causation of our universe like that, never ending?
I think it's more.
The problem is that with if we take
I think it's time to go home and wrap up. I think we need to wrap up, right? Because it's getting it's too much of a rain.
all I'm saying is, in that scenario with the cups, the problem would be that with every person the cup is handed over, all information is lost, you know? That's the problem.
Say that again, sorry.
With that analogy with the cup, every time the cup is handed over, all information is lost.
No, we're not talking
We are
about
saying
information.
this cup
Yeah, I know.
is ongoing.
Yeah.
And the whole idea, the intent is the cup to come to your hand.
Exactly.
That action to take
Yes,
place.
Yes, that's true.
Right.
That action would not
Not take place
if there are
if
infinite number of
it's
people.
But the
Think of it this way. When this cup reaches you, existence starts, okay?
Yeah.
If there's an infinite number of things between this cup and it reaching you,
Yeah.
existence will never occur.
But that is the thing.
But slow down. Do you understand that concept?
Yes, I do.
Right. So then you understand that in order for existence to begin or be here and for us to be here right now, there cannot be an infinite number of possibilities before that.
That's only on the premise that while the cup is traveling, time is linear.
No, that's only on the premise that at some point this cup reaches you.
Also that,
Yes?
Shall we try going down there? Yeah? If it's not there, we'll end the discussion. Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah? But if it's possible, we'll continue. تعال هنا واحد هبل واحد هبل هذا
ما بدي هلا تعالوا
This wasn't on the focus, not like this.
So just a quick question, whose phone is this?
Responsibility.
Someone just gave it to me, I assumed it would be.
I can recognize the gentleman facially. I don't know who he is.
Coming with us? Someone should open the door.
Yeah.
Is a bin over here or
You want help? You said you would like to. Yeah. Because they're not answering the question that you're talking about. They're answering the next question that you're going to ask. And I was trying to dig into it in the end to say, right, so assuming that we know for a fact that the coppers go to you, can we have infinite? Are you recording?
Yeah.
Mr. Rain.
you don't have to record this now.
You don't have to record this. This is personal.